Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about, is Dungeons & Dragons a good system for someone who who has learning challenges? All right, so there's this brand new channel. It's fairly new. I would say it's new. I've been here 10 years, so like to me, this thing's new, right? So this gentleman, I'm fascinated by his channel, right? Link below, right? And in the link below, you'll find a video where this gentleman says he has a son who has challenges in learning. Younger son who has challenges in learning. I think he uses different words, right? But I never want to use the word disability. I don't know if that's appropriate for me to use, but he's saying that his son has challenges learning, and he's saying, hey everybody, is there a game system that my son can understand, right? Great question, right? Here's the answer. The answer is yes, there is. It's called Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and he is talking about tabletop role-playing. He's talking about he wants a tabletop role-playing experience, right? And he's looking in the OSR and the indie. Now, I'm fascinated by this gentleman's channel, and the reason why is he's brand new. He's only a year in. He's only run D&D 5e for a year, and after a year, he's like, oh, no, D&D 5e is not good. OSR and Indie's where it's at. Now, I've seen this 100 times. I've seen a bunch of people think that they can beat D&D. You cannot. I can tell you that right now. And this gentleman's the same. He thinks he's going to find... Let me tell you something. Let me explain something. You are not going to find a better system, right, for somebody who has learning challenges with GarageBand energy. You're not, right? And that's what every OSR and every indie game is. It's like real scrappers doing the best they can on the weekends, right? But D&D is a multi-billion-dollar platform, right? And here's why D&D, in my humble opinion, is by far the best system for his son, okay, who has learning challenges. Okay, here we go. So why is it the best? Well, first of all, the Dungeon Master Guide, page 4, the rules aren't in charge, you are, okay? So you can make the rules to Dungeons & Dragons as simple as you wish, right? And so the D&D rules can absolutely match what his son needs, right? Because there's no limit to how simple you can make Dungeons & Dragons. It's right there in the rules. It's there, right? Done and done. Okay? All right. So, yeah. So that fully 100% fixes the problem, okay? So why should you run Dungeons & Dragons? Why should this gentleman run Dungeons & Dragons so that his son gets what he needs? Well, here's why. Goodwill. So there was a study that was done, and it upset a ton of people. People were really upset about this, right? They were like, what they found was that kids who had books in their home could read better than kids who did not have books in their home, even if those books weren't read to them. What? We're like, wait, and this is why people were upset. They were like, what are you talking about, right? You have to read the books to the kids. Didn't matter. The goodwill was the part, right? These kids who had books in their home, but those books weren't read to them, right? They read better than kids who didn't have books in their home, even if they weren't read to them. And the reason why is goodwill. Books were not something alien and frightening, right? And this is what Dungeons & Dragons can do that no OSR, no indie can even remotely do. So if this gentleman starts running Dungeons & Dragons for his son Riker, all right? His name is in the title. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I was hoping I couldn't. I hoping I wouldn't, but it's right in the title of the video, so you would have found it at the moment. So if he runs this for his son, right? What's going to happen is he can make the rules as simple as he wishes, right? So his son isn't challenged by it, right? And then, get this, then everybody else in the world does the work for this gentleman to make the goodwill for his son appear and manifest. His son's going to be like, I play Dungeons & Dragons, right? And it doesn't matter what his learning challenges are, right? He's going to learn about Matthew Mercer. He's going to see people wearing sneakers with Dungeons & Dragons on it. he's going to watch Stranger Things at some point, and he's going to, oh my gosh, look at that. 5 seasons, everybody in the world's going to be excited about Dungeons and Dragons. A whole lot, right? About a year from now when Stranger Things 5. And this gentleman's son is going to just be bathed in a bath of the world's goodwill for Dungeons and Dragons. And his son will realize Dungeons and Dragons is where it's at. It's where all the excitement's at. It's where all the best things are at. It's where Legos are at, and movies are at, and shows are at, and Matthew Mercer is at, and millions of dollars is at. It's where all the action is at. This is what he will learn, right? And so this gentleman, and every day that goes by, his son will know that he is part of something special, right? Whereas if he brings him to some, like, he's talking about Fate Accelerated, right? Fate Accelerated. Are you kidding me? Right? That has-been game, I dumped that thing 8 years ago, right? Because you can't drag people to it. It's got a fantastic rule system. Very fast. Very cinematic. Black and white crap art, right? Terrible layout and terrible writing done by people who are not paid well, right? Who are not paid, they're paid well, they're paid fine, right? But don't make, like, there's a D&D position they're putting out right now, it's like $100,000, right? Like, nobody else in the industry does this, right? So my point is, the OSR and indie, the garage band energy over there is never going to be able to attach goodwill to the thing. And that's where we land, right? Dungeons and Dragons can go as complex as you wish or as simple as you wish. Better than anything else, right? And the reality is to think that the rules are all that matters, and that the culture's acceptance of the thing and that goodwill doesn't matter is just pure foolishness. Dungeons and Dragons is by far the best system this gentleman can use to engage his son and bring his son to something powerful, something good, something valuable, something his son will have for decades. He brings him to Fate Accelerated, they'll play for a month, and he'll forget it. His son will never remember it, right? But if he brings him on to Dungeons and Dragons, his son, every time he sees somebody with a shirt on, with a t-shirt on, sneakers on, when he sees a new television show, when he sees a brand new movie, when he sees a brand new video game, he'll know he's part of something bigger, and he will be part of a community that matters. Not a part of a niche community that cares about a few dial turns on the rules. The rules are not all that make a tabletop role-playing experience. And that's the other kicker. He wants to bring him to a tabletop role-playing game. Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing experience. And it doesn't matter if you are great at learning or if you have challenges in learning. An experience is experience. It's powerful. It means something. It's valuable, right? And there's absolutely there's no barrier. His son can have the same experience that I have. Goodwill, excitement, part of a community, right? Rather than some crusty game like Fate Accelerated, where he will be lucky to ever meet someone else in his entire life who even knows what it is, right? So, in my humble opinion, this gentleman has a solution, right? Dungeons and Dragons is the solution. Dragging him some horrible OSR or indie alternative, right? That's exciting to his father, but not going to be exciting to his son. And this is kind of a repeat of something we've already talked about. Is not a good solution. D&D is the answer, in my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, every single word you just heard is nothing more than my humble opinion, nothing less. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.